Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, I did my best to gather information in the short time I had, because as you know, we didn't receive this information until Friday evening. And in the meetings I've had with people that have a lot of experience and expertise in this area, from what I can determine and know, the principals don't support this, as you yourself just mentioned. I've heard teachers don't support it. The emails I've received don't support it. And the research in the slides presentation, although somewhat dated, doesn't really support it. So I'm just kind of mystified as to why we're having this discussion. And I mean, I just really, given the fact that we spent a year last year discussing balanced calendar, I just find it ironic that the balanced calendar was going to cost us $7 million, and we spent a year discussing that, and now we're back. Are we going to spend another year discussing block versus traditional and the costs that would occur? And from the conversations I've had with both former and current principals, there's just a couple of real key questions that emerged, and I just need a yes or no. Will there be a reduction in force with a traditional schedule? If we move to a traditional schedule, will there be a reduction in force? Yes or no?
I can't answer yes or no. There would be fewer positions. How that got operationalized would be up to the decisions that were made. I would anticipate that if the board were interested in moving in this direction, it would be done gradually over time and allow for attrition to take care of the reduction in positions.
Okay. And will there be a reduction in force if we remain with block or an attrition of positions, whatever we want to call it?
I don't know. Are you talking about for fiscal year 17?
Yes.
I don't know yet. I would hope not, but we don't know what the economic indicators will look like for fiscal year 17. We don't know what the revenue is likely to be. We don't know what our cost factors are likely to be. I think it's premature to be able to answer that question.
And you know, if we look back at slide 2, can you go back to slide 2? Who's got that? Dr. Alves? Because I don't think these two are, if we go back to slide 2 and we're looking at, according to the MOU, under KCS, we'll seek potential efficiencies, cut failing programs, reduce employees, and look at traditional class schedules. So even though the only one that is highlighted is look at traditional class schedules, I think the two are interrelated from what I've been able to determine, and it will be a reduction in employees. And if you go to slide 10, maybe I didn't understand this correctly, but if you look at the FTEs under those 3 different models, and you just, from a teacher 3 periods, 915, and then teacher periods 5 with student 6, you've got 823, and then on down with 6-7, you've got 800. So is that a reduction of 115 employees?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a reduction of 115 positions.
Positions.
Right. So how those employees, how those positions are reduced is a budgetary matter. How the folks in those positions, either stay with us or don't, is a really a different process. And so I would say that, again, if this is a direction that the Board of Education wants to go in, I think we need to talk about how that would happen. And I would favor thinking about allowing most of that to happen through natural attrition. But, that, again, I think that would be a decision that the board would make through the budget process in terms of those positions. We hire, 300 some odd teachers a year. And so we have a number of, a couple hundred retirees every year or resignations every year. So a lot of that can be handled through attrition if it's over a period of time.
Okay, and it may happen quicker than we think, because I know in talking there is concern that some of the, because there are not many of us that go back to that far, but that there are a lot of teachers that have expressed that they probably would look at leaving the system versus changing and going back to the traditional model. Now, we can't control that, but again, it concerns me that we're losing, and we have been losing our experience and our expertise with teachers, and so we could really see a number of those, which would be good in that we wouldn't have to RIF or non-renew anybody or fire anybody, but I still am concerned about the number of experienced and teachers with great expertise that would be leaving. And even today heard of some department heads that said, well, I'll just go to Oak Ridge or Maryville, you know. So I think that's a concern that we need to take into consideration about losing some of our best educators that are in the field that may not, at this point in their career, feel like they want to return to that. So anyway, that's all for now.